Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I'm Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Okie dokie. Have some fun here. This time we're going to look at Marvel 2-in-1 number 19 from 1975, featuring The Thing and Tigra. This was written by Bill Mantlo with pencils by Sal Buscema and inks by Don Heck. And I have to say, I am not happy with Don Heck's inks on this. It's far too scratchy, and I think it really diminishes Sal Buscema's fine pencils. Although, don't get me wrong, I like Don Heck. He is a good quality artist and was a comic book workhorse through the Bronze Age and Silver Age. Okay, this is a cover. Features the cover by Jack Kirby. It must have been right after he left DC and went back to Marvel, and he was doing a bunch of covers, all kinds of titles, kind of announcing that he had returned to Marvel as he was taking over. Doing some other titles such as Black Panther and Captain America. Okay, and it is one of two long-running team-up titles, along with Marvel Team-Up, which featured Spider-Man. This had the Thing from the Fantastic Four teaming up with various other heroes, quite often B or C list characters, which seldom got the opportunity to have much of the spotlight on them. This is okay. It says, "Return the Thing's power, monster puss, before I tear you apart. Too late, werewoman. Now no one can stand against the claws of the cougar." So let's take a good look inside here. Of course, Tigra. I just not too long ago did an episode on the first issue of The Cat, which was and the cat was a woman, Greer Nelson. Her married name was Nelson, and she was the cat. Later, as we see, they mentioned in here, she was injured and exposed to some radiation, injured and brought back to health by a group of cat people living secretly on Earth, and in the process they made her one of their cat people, and in fact that's where our villain is from too. And she became Tigra, and then her cat costume and identity was passed on to Patsy Walker, who became Hellcat. So here we go. Splash page. Ben Grimm sleeping in bed at night in the Baxter building. And it's this obviously female figure, dark figure, slipping in through the window. And it just mentions how she only got through because while he was working out, Ben Grimm accidentally knocked out the security system. And the other Reed Richards, the other FF, are away at the moment, so I have to do without it. She slips in. Looks like she's gonna. Oh, is this going to be an attack on Ben Grimm? No, she just tries to wake him up, and he comes out of it startled and starts getting tangled up in his sheets, ripping stuff apart. And then he says, she introduces herself and says, "Shades of Aunt Petunia, lady. Ain't you got no shame busting in on a gentleman's bedroom in the middle of the night? with not much in the way of clothes neither. Tiger smiles, and so he gets up while they're talking. He goes to working out again, while she kind of lounges felinely around, and then she gives her backstory, how she became the cat, how she was injured with the radiation. But it says exposure of alpha radiation, and I go, that's going to give you a sunburn, alpha radiation. But then she talks about the cat people who saved her and turned her into a cat person, a werewoman herself. And then she talks about a rogue from the cat people who goes by the name of the Cougar, and he is a menace. And then she says he's she makes reference to a previous Fantastic Four encounter with a being using what they call null energy bands or nega bands or whatever, something like that. I'll just call them nega bands. And they thought they were destroyed, but he's got them. Cougar's got those bands. And while they're there, suddenly some goons bust in, start attacking them, and they make short work of the goons. And slam, smash, smash, and Ben sticks him into one of the cells that the Fantastic Four have there. And he says, we're going to have to use some of Stretcho's equipment to figure out where this guy is. Then our scene changes, and it's at some company somewhere, and this fellow here is the Cougar, but he is in human form, working for this lady who is the big owner and big boss of this company. They are enfianced, but he is using her to further his plans. And here, this guy, he looks like with that haircut, looks like a Vulcan trying to hide his ears. That's what he looks like. And then Tigra and Thing bust in and says, he switches a switch. I was expecting you, and gasses him, knocking him out. They come to a short time later. They are both captives. She is chained up, and he is in some gizmo, and the Cougar himself is in another gizmo, and says he's going to siphon the power from the energy from and power from the Thing into his own body, and he will make him even more powerful than he is. He'll suck. Suddenly it stops. What? The power's off. Ben can smash his way out, frees Tigra, and the guy dispenses with his false human identity, and there we see him as the Cougar. He starts using the power from the negabands to try to zap him, but Ben is only slightly stunned as he protects Tigra, and they go head to head. Then bam, 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 slash, smash, 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 cram. Some real good action sequences here. See Sal Buscema. His style was very similar to his brother John Buscema's art style, and sometimes has a tendency to think he's the poor man's John Buscema. And but he was a fine artist in his own right. But sometimes if they had something that would have been good for John Buscema, but he wasn't available, they would give it to Sal. Just as he took over the Tarzan later, took over the Tarzan title from his brother John, and with little difference in appearance. But Sal Buscema is a fine artist in his own right, and this is why I think the scratchiness of Don Heck's inks really does Buscema's pencils a disservice here. And so they're up against the Cougar. He pulls out another gizmo that's will destroy them, but his own negabands will protect him from this energy release. And then bam! What the heck? He falls over dead. What the heck? And there was the lady. Said she knew he was the boss lady. She shot and killed him. She knew that he was using her, but she was using him as well. And she's the one who secured the power, which allowed Ben to break free. And here's a nice bit of storytelling where we see the dead guy's hand here in this panel, and we see the central figures going off into the distance. And that it was the conclusion of this story. Then it's next time, ever-loving blue-eyed thing teams up with the Liberty Legion, and it all begins in giant size 2-in-1 number 1. I think I have had that one. I'm not sure if I still got it, but that's and I really enjoyed that reading. I think it's a nice follow-up to that issue of the cat that episode of the cat that I did last week or whenever it was. So I want to thank you all for joining me. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you think of The Thing and Tigra. And I really always liked this title. I probably got more of these at the time than I did of the Fantastic Four. I was a Thing fan, and I like him. And just as I probably got more of Marvel team-up featuring Spider-Man than I did of actual Spider-Man titles, solo titles. So, again, thank you for joining me, and let me know what you think of this title, this issue, and these characters, and all that good stuff. And remember, comics are art.